Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. Here are your hosts, Scott Bear and Jeremiah Johnson.
Welcome to the Lost at Home podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm Jeremiah.
And we are back for episode 296, ever so close to the magical number 300.
Yeah, which we are probably not going to do anything for.
We're going to do something.
We will. It's just we're going to do something, but we did discuss, we're going to do something, but we're going to probably hold out on some super duper special content until later, because with COVID and us focusing on so many different things, I just feel like I want to do it justice. So we're going to have something for 300, but it's not going to be the full, epic uber...
It's probably going to be a throwback, right?
I think we're going to do a throwback one. We're going to take one from the vault, because people might not realize we've been doing this show. We'll explain to you all who may have never heard us what the show is, but we've been doing the show for, 40, 50 years?
About 50 years,
50 years. And so we have a lot of stuff, content. Granted, we just barely started getting stuff. It used to be a radio show. It was a pirate radio show. There was an old-timey radio show back in the early 1900s with our grandparents and whatnot who were get together. So we'll find something from those archives. It might be us. It might be our predecessors, who are our parents and grandparents. In it, we'll find something. And honestly, we even had the luck of getting a show from the future at one point as well.
Yep.
So we'll find something, and but that doesn't mean we're going to completely jettison our plans to provide some really good pre-produced content. We have a big bonanza in store, but we need a lot of our friends and stuff to help us out. And right now, guess what? There ain't no hanging out with friends, because we live in America, who's number one at killing people with COVID.
Yep. And for anyone wondering if this is your first episode, what you're about to listen to, or what the fuck we're talking about, this show is a podcast that brings you weird stories from the internet, the stuff you wouldn't normally see in mainstream media. And what we do is we tell you the news, we report it like reporters. But then what do? Put on our producer hats? Yeah. And we basically try to twist this content into something new, whether it be a TV show, a movie, a comic. It doesn't matter.
It's almost like pitchman hats, pitchman or writer's room or pitch room or We'll figure something out. We try to come up with all manner of crazy things from the content.
And anyone out there who hears any of this new content that we generate, you are more than welcome to run with it. Turn it into a comic, TV show, whatever. But every once in a while, we do a little disclaimer. If we really like an idea that we want to sit on, leave that alone. But if you do use our content and make something, just give us a little shout out in the in the foreword or the end credits, whatever. If it's a cookbook, name a spice after us and confuse people. Yeah, name
a spice after us. I like there's one of the spices that's like a QAnon person now.
A pinch of Johnson.
I think it's Mel. One of the Mels from Spice Girls is a Q. She's like Mel Q now. Ew. I think was that Sporty? Who's Mel?
I don't know. For instance, you can have a pinch of Johnson in your food.
Yeah,
I like that. Or 3 tablespoons of Bear.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy to do. We'll know. We'll look for it. So, that's the gist of the show. Thank you for anyone who's been around since the beginning. That's a long haul for you.
Scary is... Oh, no. Mel C is Sporty and Mel B is Scary. So it's not Scary. I know it's not Scary. It must be Mel C is now Mel Q, I believe. Anyway. Sorry. Just a little QAnon... aside.
Wow. I actually did not know that. So that is some more obscure news you did not know.
Well, she posted when Trump was reposting or retweeting one of the tweets that ended up getting taken down, that he retweeted. His tweet didn't get taken down. The tweet that he retweeted got taken down, about people pointing to that piece on the, I don't know, was it the CDC website or some infectious diseases website with the numbers of things saying only 6% of people actually died because of COVID-19.
Oh, and only as an exclusive symptom.
As an exclusive, but all the other ones, when they were when you actually look at the numbers, the 94%, the vast majority of those were respiratory issues that were brought on because of COVID-19. It's sort of
it's underlying conditions.
People don't, exactly. People, it's sort of like when a lot of people don't necessarily die of AIDS, it's like the complications arising from AIDS, which means it tears your immune system down. You can catch a basic cold and die from that. That doesn't mean you were gonna die that way anyway. Anyway. So
a doctor I saw online actually explained that perfectly. He says if you have AIDS and you get hit by a bus, they put getting hit by the bus on the death certificate because the AIDS didn't kill you. You had it, but the bus killed you. That is the death certificate.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
And that makes the most sense. COVID is what killed you. You could add heart disease, distemper, doesn't fucking matter. If the end result is the end thing that gets you, then that's it.
Well, and it's
also,
also
they're underreporting COVID deaths majorly, it looks like.
Yeah, and
if it actually goes in the other direction.
People who didn't bother actually reading, or people who have absolutely no reading comprehension or critical thinking skills, saw the number and immediately, big surprise, didn't bother doing any kind of research and went to Twitter to tweet this out. Of course, then it gets retweeted, and that's how we got the Spice Girls today.
Twitter's gross.
Yeah.
All social
media
though,
gross.
Follow us on Twitter at The Lost at Home. We actually
follow me at Sonic Jalopy on Instagram instead. That's the only thing I actually bother. Although I have been,
our Twitter is good if you want to follow it. It literally
yes.
is a constant stream of the weirdest news you're gonna find.
Yeah, we got a train going by. If anybody hears a rumble, that is some
full
good
of dead COVID bodies.
Yeah, put this on a nice subwoofer. You can get or put your balls against a nice subwoofer for you men. For your women, put your clitoris against that.
It's making my mic shake a little.
A little. It's like right up. They started using that line again right in back of my house. It doesn't go by that much, but when it does, man, you can feel it.
Yeah, you can.
You can feel it in your butthole, and I love that shit. I love shit out my butthole. Oh,
there you go. A little toot
for
I wonder
everybody.
if anyone can hear this, or if we're just talking about a thing that everyone's like, "What?"
We should just do this regularly, even though
there's trains going through.
Seeing trains going by, oh my god, can you hear that? There's a murder going on outside my house. There's machine gun fire. I'm really good at isolating audio and taking that stuff out. So.
Speaking of COVID, real quick, what I said how the deaths might be higher than normal, and
Yes.
this is also slightly obscure news because I'm not seeing it reported a ton, but I do read a lot of medical stuff. The CDC predicts deaths every year. Period. Just deaths. It doesn't matter from what. Just deaths. And they do little charts that show a line that shows where deaths happen. And we always kind of follow that exact line. They're pretty fucking good at predicting how many people will die. That line this year, we're above, and they did a little marker where it's like, this is the COVID deaths. And then above that is an equally big marker that's also other deaths that have yet to be fully determined, defined, categorized, and put into the computer system. Meaning there could be as many as, I'd say, 50% more COVID deaths than actually reported, meaning we're in the 220,000, 230,000 range, if not higher. And there's no way to tell until time passes and they finally do everything.
So, yeah, and I this is the one thing that I'm not about to play devil's advocate and say that COVID-19 and coronavirus are a good thing whatsoever. But let's say I wanted to make that ridiculous argument, which I'm not making. I clearly will not make this, but I am curious. Now, I'm actually glad you brought that up because we're not a COVID podcast, but I'm glad you mentioned that because I was curious where the overall deaths landed because we were talking about, there's certain things which don't account for a huge number of deaths, but they're tragic. Of course, any death is tragic, but things like mass shootings that are down, regular B&Es and people getting killed in home invasions are down. A lot of just general on the street murder, people getting shot at bars, drive-bys, things like that. Well, you drive by, there's nobody in the street, you can't kill anybody. So those numbers are down. I'm guessing those just don't add up to the sheer volume of people dying from COVID-19.
Yes. Yeah, if you look at the CDC's previous maps, a few years ago there was a spike in their curve where they predicted deaths, and then we had a bad flu season, and you could see the deaths went above their line.
Yes,
it was an anomaly. The second anomaly in a few years was COVID-19.
Yeah.
Big spike above the predicted line. And now they've done the end of the year, from the last 2 months ago to now, new predicted line. And it looks like a slopey line where deaths should be. There's a mountain range on top, which is COVID, and then above it is a second mountain range of actual total deaths that are way above that low line. So people are like, sure, these COVID deaths are there. What are these other deaths that are almost as big as the COVID deaths thing? And we're not hearing about mass shootings, train wrecks, plane crashes. The flu hasn't killed anyone in a long time.
Well, I always say another thing about that is there are definitely some things that are killing people that we're just not hearing about, and some people are dying, which we probably just don't hear about anyway. But there are also... regular disease is still killing people, but I will also say that for the most part, a lot of people are being a lot more careful.
The CDC line of deaths always accounts for normal deaths.
It does, yeah. It's the projections for what the knowns anyway.
And I think over 20 years, they have almost a 99% perfect record of predicting the death toll on average from everything.
There's a lot of statistics to pump into that model, and the one thing you can't account for is the pandemic, and it doesn't matter how well we did with it. It was going to be a tick up. It's just unfortunate that it had to be such a tick up. Anyway.
And it could be a bigger one, which is all we're reporting because I don't want to get into what sounds like mainstream news, but no one's talking about this really.
Yeah.
And I do read these little things.
Well, because really you're talking about the non-COVID deaths essentially, or rather, not even non-COVID deaths, but you're talking about
all the non-COVID deaths are below the line for the most part.
Yeah.
The COVID deaths are the spike, and then there's a second second spike above it, and everyone's like,
projected,
where are the... Not projected. Already happened. This is
okay.
past data.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
They're just trying to figure out where that extra range of deaths has come from, and they're thinking, in the end, it's going to end up being just COVID deaths.
Well,
they
yeah,
haven't
because you're saying
figured
they're
out yet.
underreported, yeah.
Yeah.
So that should also shoot holes in people's arguments that it's just another flu season, or that only 6% of people are actually dying from COVID. Because well, what about this uptick? Clearly, maybe technically they're dying from pneumonia, but
Flu deaths are down by a lot, by the way, and it's not because, as the right likes to say, they're counting them as COVIDs. People are washing their hands more and wearing masks.
Yeah.
Like the flu is just not getting to people like it used to.
If we actually just carried, I don't want to.
We could eradicate the flu.
We essentially could, yeah.
Well, except for bike rallies and Trump rallies.
Well, yeah, exactly. But you know what? Let's slowly let them fucking die off. It's a horrible thing to say, but we're not a political podcast. We are not a COVID podcast.
Although we're about to do a game about Trump.
We are. This is
more poking fun.
It's still not political. Although I guess if you're a Trump, let's call you a follower by now. I'm not going to mince words. We're fine out there being anti-Trump, and we will be okay mentioning that. We just generally don't do political stories. But this is definitely just pointing out. By the way, the whole point of this game, you're going to be asking me questions. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I don't have to do any for you. Okay. So the whole point of this game shows you how comically. I should say no. Comically, it sounds funny. I mean, cartoonishly evil Donald Trump is, and one of the reasons we dislike him, because you're pretty much going to be giving a quote. And I'm supposed to determine whether or not this was said by some probably cartoon or comic book villain or
movie villain or whatever.
Villain.
Famous villain.
I mean,
or Trump.
Okay. Or if it's Donald Trump saying it. Okay.
All right. Let's go pretty rapid fire.
Yeah,
All I have to do is say the quote, and you say the thing.
Okay.
Be good in school and don't do crack. It's a ghetto drug.
Sounds like Trump.
Nope. It is a villain. And it does not tell me which one in this...
Oh, that's too bad.
I was really hoping it would tell me.
Yeah, that's too bad. Okay.
All right. I could say it in the
Honestly,
middle of...
I think afterwards, I don't know if it's the same questions every time. If it's the same questions every time, we should at least, off air, obviously, let's not Google everything on air. Google, literally type that quote in.
Yeah, I was really hoping it would show them.
I think if you just type the quote in, that's a flaw in the game, but it'll probably let us speed through quick. All right.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue,
Trump.
shoot someone...
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
I feel like you should be able to get these based on my knowledge. I wanted to go villain the first time around, but I was like, that doesn't sound like a very villainous thing to say. But.
Hey, you created me. I didn't create some loser alter ego to make myself feel better. Take some responsibility.
Villain?
You are correct.
Yeah. He wouldn't use a term like alter ego.
No, he wouldn't know it. The beauty of me is that I'm very rich.
Trump.
Let's see. Yes. Very good. Next one. East, west, just points on a compass. Each as stupid as the other.
Villain.
Yes. Whew, yeah. That was a tight one. I actually wasn't sure.
It sounds too smart for Donald Trump to say. It sounds like a stupid thing, but too smart for Donald Trump.
You are not a beautiful and unique snowflake.
Oh, boy. Trump. He used snowflake.
No, villain. I wonder what movie that's from.
Oh, jeez.
I know. I wish we had answers.
I guess that's the thing, is the term snowflake's been around for a while as being unique. So I was immediately thinking of modern day snowflake, and I was like, okay.
From this day forth, you put your faith in me.
Oh boy, that could be both. I'm going to say a villain because of the word
villain?
Because of the word fourth.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fourth. I like that.
Yeah.
A real native is someone who is willing to die fighting for his country. There's nothing more to it.
Villain.
I hope it's villain. God damn it. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Good.
There is no civility, only politics.
Oh boy, that sounds like a villain because it sounds. Or he's reading off a teleprompter. Yeah.
Because it's civility.
Yeah. First we'd be like
only. The word only.
Sliverly. There is no Slytherin. Sefa.
So what do you think?
Yo Messites, Yosemites. Oh, he said villain, but
you did? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Or he's reading off a teleprompter.
I'm trying. My phone's not registering. Oh, there we go. Correct, villain. Okay. You have to take out their families. When you get these terrorists, you have to take out their families.
I know that one's Trump.
Yeah, actually, I do that one too. God, they have to take out their families. That was when he was bombing Iranians, I believe. All right. You know what you look like to me? With your good bag and your cheap shoes, you look like a rube. A well-scrubbed, hustling rube with a little taste.
Ooh, gonna go with villain.
I would have gone Trump on that. Let's see who's right. You got villain. He has that whole taste in who has money.
Well, that
and
one
stuff.
sounded like a nice scripted like line that maybe
you're right. It's
that maybe like I don't know, somebody from like a Batman movie would say.
The point is, you can never be too greedy.
Trump.
Yeah, I actually believe that is a Trump one. Yep, it was. I mean, I doubt it for a moment.
Or straight out of fucking Wall Street, like the movie. Like, come on.
You are not the voice of the people. I am the voice of the people. The people speak through me, not you. I could be either.
I'm gonna go with villain.
Yeah, it almost sounds like a movie quote because it's so long. Yep, you're correct. And your score, Jer, 11 out of 14.
11 out of 14. Which one did I get wrong?
I don't know.
I didn't recall getting any wrong except for the first one. But
I thought you did. Maybe I pressed the wrong button because it was tabulating my score as I went.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, still very good. So
a better game would have been, and I
myself.
should have vetted it, but I wanted to even be surprised myself and kind of play along.
Yeah.
But without vetting it, I didn't realize that we wouldn't get like that was Bane from Batman, that kind of thing.
I actually bought a I wanted. You know what? I may have bought a. Let me just. You go on. You want to bring up the next story or the first?
Sure,
story?
we're gonna start
or
web
launch into web dropping.
droppings?
Actually, yeah. Let's do web dropping.
All right. Well, the first web dropping this week made me smile, and in the best possible way. Not only did I listen to Master P when I was a teenager, but apparently as an adult, I'm about to eat his food because he was kind of surprised when we started removing certain mascots from food labels. Specifically, what is it? Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima?
Yep, those are a couple of them.
Yep, when we removed those, he was surprised to find out that those were not black-owned brands, and that, in fact, they just are white-owned, using black people as a spokesperson with, no permissions, no nothing, just, black man in my box.
And not only that, but a very, sure, people definitely existed in society who looked like that and everything.
They're racist depictions based on the era.
But using that depiction as a white person, it just definitely feels like you're just using this very, iconic black stereotypical token to sell your product, which is let's face it, is a little dirty. It's a little bit dirty. So I'm all for people not just canceling this stuff, but I like the fact that we're getting some. We covered last week RZA creating a new ice cream song because hey. We're not instead of just taking your ice cream song away, how about I make a fucking better one? You can have it for free, and now everybody can be happy and doesn't have to be a minstrel show song.
I had a Facebook post a few weeks ago that kind of made people not sure how to react to me. I basically said, well, we got rid of all the black people on the packages of food, so now all the food have white people on them. I was like, how do we feel about this, honestly?
Yeah, because
did we just whitewash cereal and soup
and really now
maple syrup?
And the answer is open the lanes up and the logos up and the ownership of these companies up, which is the bigger issue, to have them African-owned businesses. So it doesn't matter who they have on the label if they're black-owned, and then they can have black people on the label. It's not just appropriating somebody's image.
Oh, not just black people. Yeah. Master P himself is literally on these boxes of cereal.
Yes,
everything.
I know, it's so fucking
He looks
cool.
like he's on a Wheaties box, like an athlete.
Yeah, literally they're just outtakes from his album shoots. Because he was on the cover of every one of his albums with crazy bling and all this kind of shit. And I remember his shit, because not only that, but remember his actual name on it was always emblazoned in gold. It was super blinged out. The actual Master P logo fucking stood out. That's when he was at his biggest, I was working at Coconut's music store, and so his shit would be on the end caps, and that shit would just glare from walking in.
I remember driving around bumping,
and he'd release an album every week.
Make him say,
man.
na na na. I remember watching that video.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah. You've been canceled, by the way, for even attempting to... whatever you just did.
That was his lyric. I remember it from childhood.
Yep.
So his new brand is called Uncle P's Louisiana Seasoned. And he has rice, beans, grits, pancake mix, syrup, and oatmeal.
First of all, anything Louisiana Seasoned has my fucking stamp of approval.
Although, if you're buying white rice in a box, why the fuck is it seasoned? And if you're buying pancake mix, what does Louisiana seasoned mean?
I mean,
I want to know what they're doing because I love Louisiana food.
First of all, there's definitely more than.
No, I'm a New Orleans transplant practically.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's his. That's just
practically. I've been 5 times. I
I
practically live there.
Yeah, that's right. I understand, Katrina. Wait, was that what it named? Sabrina? Hurricane Sabrina? What was it? Shit.
To be fair, out of all my white friends, I have probably spent more time in the South. Which is really sad, but...
Mister, I love the...
I love the South.
Mister, I love the Confederate flag all of a sudden.
Oh, no. None of that. I like the heat. I can stand the humidity. The food is fucking bonkers. And the people are, like, nice as fuck.
Yeah. All right.
Well, the people I've met. I'm sure there's a ton that aren't.
No, they are. They're very, like, even the fucking...
You walk into a diner in New Orleans,
even
and you ask for some food, they'll call you sugar, and they'll just be nice to you. Although if you venture around New Orleans more, you actually start losing the accent. A lot of people think it has a strong Southern accent. That city's kind of exempt.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of exempt. It's more of a Northern accent, if anything. Then if you go in deep French Quarter territory, it's a little French accent, a little Cajun.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, it's a city that has almost no Southern accent. That's a little bit for those listeners out there.
There's some deep accents.
Oh, you'll hear it here and there, but for the most part, it's not as prevalent as you get like in Kentucky or Alabama or any of those other states.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on where you go. I'm guessing. I mean, the places we've been to NOLA, which is not most of Louisiana, too. So.
All right, so we talked about his foods, going through the story because we talked so much a moment ago that I'm making sure we didn't miss any tidbits that are important enough for people to hear.
Well, I mean, I just...
he's giving a portion of the profits towards educating inner city kids and assisting elderly people in black communities across the United States. And even told CNN he wants to create more job opportunities with upward mobility for black people and use a portion of the profits towards real estate development in black neighborhoods.
Yeah, I think this is that whole
This is exactly what you talked about before.
Yeah, exactly. Where like you're not just taking something off a box. You're saying, hey, we can replace it with products that are, I guess, like maybe even better, but also you can support. You can still, like, get fucking pancake mix. First of all, I don't even know why everybody needs some kind of fucking icon on everything. Like, I don't care if you take a fucking fake person off of a box of goddamn powder that I just pour a little bit of water and milk in and it becomes a pancake. Like, that, people just get bent out of shape and they fucking just put their shit behind it. But guess what? Now even better, because people put up such a stink about this, now I want... If we want to see black people on fucking boxes, it's got to be like Masterpiece face with fucking.
Just... Oh yeah, we also lost the Land O'Lakes lady.
Oh, was she the Native American?
Yeah, on the butter.
Yeah,
which was funny because the memes that went around after they removed her was they took away the Native American woman, but they kept the land.
Yeah.
Because there's still all the land. It looks the same picture.
Yeah,
they took away the Native Americans, but kept the land.
They just clone stamped out and put an extra mountain where she was.
Yeah.
Yep. They're just like, oh, okay. So we get a little more of that. We're getting a little closer to that Native American genocide by just clearing out the Land O'Lakes lady.
No, I thought I didn't say anything wrong, but people were very like, about my post. I'm just like, it's true. When you remove, even if they are considered racist,
and you're not saying like don't remove. Let's not. You're not saying let's not remove
these black people. You're just whitewashing it. So all we have now is cartoon animals and white people on our cereal.
Yeah, yeah. And
boxes of everything.
Yeah, and really what it points out is that if we're gonna, first of all, I
want to get Newman off of Newman's own dressing. I'm sick of that cracker.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah. Oh man, I would love just from
although Newman's like almost all their profits go to non-profits.
Oh yeah. Although I have a joking. There's like
they actually make some of the best salad dressing out there.
A buddy of mine and I can't remember how we started it, but for some reason in my head I don't like Newman because. My buddy and I created like a fake conspiracy theory about him in our head based on his popcorn, and for some reason now it like sticks. And I see like Newman's own stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can't buy that shit. And I have to remind myself that I made up a conspiracy theory that my friend.
Do you remember any of it?
It was something about him supporting terrorism based on us reading into the back of his popcorn box.
Okay. This can be the new content because I got nothing for this Masterpiece story. I mean, honestly, it's about boxed rice. I got nothing.
Well, I don't know.
It would feel slightly racist to then come up with other black people who can also hawk food.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's.
I mean, if they do, yes, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, maybe I wouldn't mind. Let's try to. Next thing I know, let's just try to get all people off of food boxes and stuff. So
and cartoon mascots, because that just sells sugary cereal and candy to kids.
Oh yeah, and
take the cartoon characters off.
Everybody remembers Toucan Sam's blackface era too. Like,
don't get me started on Tigger.
Oh my God, yeah. Let's not get started on that. His original name, yeah, yeah. It was.
Oh,
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh and some. Wait, no. It's like, oh bother, this is problematic. Nah, this is what he wrote in like the A. Milne wrote in the early 1900s. Was that when
it probably would have been problematic back then?
Yeah, I mean,
no, it wouldn't have been back then.
Would not have been. Yeah, I actually can't remember if it was 1800s, 1900s when A. Milne.
I had problems with the name Tigger because it sounds so close. And when he like sings the song like the wonderful thing about Tiggers, I just it's probably just me being very racially sensitive, but bugs me. It just bugs me.
Yeah, I mean,
you're looking it up. I see you ticky-tacking on your keyboard.
What I was thinking of is I was hearing somebody. I was watching something about the Lovecraft mythos. Of course, Lovecraft is known for being even racist for his day, which is late 1800s, early 1900s. Like when you're racist for those days, where people are like, "Yo, tone it down." You're really, really racist, and nowadays there's some apologists, but luckily things, especially something like Lovecraft Country, people have to face like the artist separation, but the from the artist. But there is that character, and I hate even saying it because it's actually not really. But now that I'm like, oh, it came from Lovecraft, is the deity Shub-Niggurath, Niggurath. So it never dawned on me when I was reading it until I was hearing somebody say it when they were talking about the mythos, and I'm like, holy shit, that's really bad, and it comes from Lovecraft, and I never would have thought it like a total like coincidence before, but I'm like, coming from Lovecraft, I'm like, I think he tossed the N-word in one of his fucking demons there, really space demon deities, whatever. I love the Lovecraft universe. I think it's absolutely amazing, but he was a racist motherfucker. People should watch Lovecraft Country. It's a fun show.
It is.
It's a little confusing, but
before we move on from this story, I did, while you were talking, looked up that he has a previous food brand called Wrap Snacks that you can buy on Amazon. What we have here is
snack spelled with an X, 3 X's, I hope.
No, just Wrap Snacks.
Oh man, I wanted it spelled like with like a. Oh man, that would be great. I want like actually, Ron Jeremy's in a lot of heat. We can't have Ron Jeremy's Wrap Snacks. It'd be Ron Jeremy's Rape Snacks. But at this point, hey. Big surprise, Ron Jeremy's a sexual predator. But
yeah, big surprise. Here we go. On Amazon, you can buy them.
10-inch surprise.
You've got Wrap Snacks. You got Sour Cream and Ranch Migos.
Sounds good.
Wrap Snacks Wavy Little Boozies Louisiana Heat. You got Wrap Snacks
I'm liking the Louisiana.
Barbecuing in the Honey Romeo Miller. Wrap Snacks Icons Notorious Honey Jalapeno.
That sounds good. I like honey jalapeno. That sounds like a good match.
Wrap Snacks Migos White Cheddar with a dab of ranch.
Okay.
We also have.
It's funny. Like
they're all
a lot of ranch.
They all have rappers on
there.
the picture, like on the package as their mascot. We got Cardi B here. We got Cardi B Cheddar Barbecue Potato Chips.
Okay. I mean, potato chips. You throw anything at them, they're fine. Like I'm not a huge chip guy anyway, but I've had the loaded baked potato chips and shit like that, or the whatever. All those crazy chips. They taste nothing like what they say. Pepperoni dog fart. That was one that was out there for a while on some Twitter feed. Anyway. Yeah, man, you can't go wrong with chips. You just fucking put a bunch of fake chemical dust that tastes like nothing and just fucking call it.
Oh yeah,
ranch
chips are chips. Like potatoes a potato, fryer's a fryer. Yeah, all you need to do is crack the code on the flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you ask the rapper if they want to be on your label. Cardi B, do you want to get in a bag of chips? She's like, sure.
It's
that's
like
Cardi B.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I don't know. All right, that's that. Next story.
All right, sorry, I was sharing that out while we talked because I thought someone else would like to know that. So our new content really wasn't much except for saying that we really liked it and that there's maybe like a conspiracy theory about...
I just want Paul Newman.
Paul Newman.
He's been giving to...
Let's work Paul Newman into all of the rest of the stories as our new content. Try your hardest.
It had something to do with him like giving to like child trafficking terrorist organizations in Africa.
Nice.
Based on like one thing he said on like because the back of the popcorn box was like, we give X number of our proceeds to, and it was like some like really like well-meaning charity, and we just immediately turned into funneling money for child trafficking.
You did a QAnon on him before QAnon.
It's easy to QAnon something.
In
fact, Oh, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to QAnon every fucking story. I'm going to create a conspiracy
If you can
theory.
work in salad dressing guy.
Paul Newman. Paul Newman.
If you can work him in, cool. I'll help you. We can both think about it.
That is the Newman on Newman's Own, isn't it? It's Paul Newman. Yeah. I'm like, is it just some other... I assume it's Paul Newman.
Just think about it.
The guy from The Hustler.
Paul Newman liked to fuck those kids. What's a kid? But a new man. Newman.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Boom. QAnon. We're just doing it.
Okay. I'm gonna try to roll in a Paul Newman conspiracy
What's
theory.
a little boy? A new man. Newman.
It's true. What does he
like do with those kids? Toss their salad. What do you need for that?
Yeah, exactly.
Salad dressing.
which is his cum, of course.
What's popcorn?
Yeah,
Baby dried. I'll get it.
Yeah. Well, no, you have a cornhole, which is a butthole. You have to pop
there you
that.
go.
You have to pop that cornhole.
That cornhole.
So you shorten that. Pop
Newman's own new man's corn. Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah,
new man's corn.
I want to pop that corn.
Pop that new man's corn.
Yeah, exactly. So
God, this is too easy. QAnon. Like, how did QAnon not exist before now? Like, if it's this easy to make up, we could have made this up years ago.
Well, I mean, QAnon is very specific, right? But like, let's go ahead and QAnon the shit out of Paul Newman.
Is it?
Oh no, it's not. It's all over the place. But the thing is, it all funnels.
Pedophile cannibals that own pizza shops.
It all funnels back to that. But you can have it start so wide and then fucking tumble down the funnel until finally they're like, okay, and that's how it connects to
Try
the
Newman's
Democrats.
own deep state ranch. Goes great on a boy's butthole.
Oh, dude, instead of deep dish pizza, deep state pizza? Oh my god.
That Chicago pizza place with the cannibal pedophiles in the basement.
Dude, okay,
they have that deep state pizza.
I've got to write an empty promise because I want to create that graphic design for like a pizza box of deep state pizza. I think
nice.
That is solid.
That'd be a nice fun like InDesign project. Just fucking. And it's easy because the template for a pizza box is pretty much the same university. It's like a red ring with a chef.
I guarantee
and
you
he's
probably
holding
go
a pizza
on,
the box, which is weird because you already know what a pizza box
and all you
looks
need
like.
to do is just it's going to be square, 10 inch by 10 inch or 12 inch by 12 inch.
It's gonna hold
like
a baby with like a bite taken out of his thigh.
Yeah, exactly. Just like now with more adrenochrome. Or like adrenochrome dressing, which is like a balsamic glaze. But
that's an in-joke for us, a bottle of Newman's in his back pocket.
Exactly, yeah. And Newman's winking and fucking jerking off. just like he does on every... Okay. Newman's deep state pizza. I've got to have that. It's got to be Newman's now. All right.
So that's a new concept. We haven't even started this story. Here, I'll go ahead while you do your notes.
Newman's deep state pizza. That's all I needed. Okay.
All right. Well, our news story is you can now hire a home exorcist to clean your home before you sell your haunted home. Now, I wondered, is this really a thing that people would want to do? And a survey asked 5,000 Americans about their supernatural beliefs, and this is this is what we found out from that survey. 55% of people admitted to believing in ghosts and spirits.
Do you believe in ghosts or spirits?
I was more skeptical until my 30s when I started actually seeing some stuff, which might just be early onset dementia. But the critics are out.
Well, I mean, but you also experienced it.
I heard a noise, honey. It's a ghost. No, honey, you never said that in your 20s. But they weren't ghosts and they weren't dead yet.
Well, here's the thing: is because there's always that. I've always been curious of whether or not people consider ghosts get often plopped in the paranormal or in the supernatural realm.
I think everything works together. I think if you can't identify it clearly, it's all just paranormal.
Well, no, paranormal is if it like we just don't understand it based on science now. So in other words, it could potentially be described by science at someday. But I would say like
it could be a interdimensional being. It could be a ghost. It could be an electromagnetic effect.
There's always an argument for paranormal, but then some elements of supernatural where like you're like those exist. Those just exist in laws beyond our. So no matter what, we can never understand that, even with science.
A ghost could literally just be a person from a parallel universe, and your universes, for some reason, are bumping up against each other a little bit.
So
that is paranormal. Doesn't mean that's a dead person. It could be
just
you.
Means there could be eventually some scientific definition or and some people believe they've already got a scientific handle on ghosts. I think ghost hunting shows are fucking ridiculous.
They are.
People are like, oh, this EVP thing. Like, so many things
can set off
EVPs. You can do that. First of all, you can just fucking make it go off.
If we live in a multiverse, like, literally, maybe they don't stay perfectly parallel. Maybe once in a while they...
And I have no doubt people are experiencing things. It's just being like, must be a dead person.
Well, I'm saying, you see a ghost in your living room? That could be you. Literally, it could be you or a person who's living in your house in a parallel universe where you don't live in that house. And you just see each other, and they literally go, ah, ghost, and you go, ah, ghost.
Yeah.
And it's just two normal people see each other through like a veil,
which means for a lot of ghost interactions, there's probably a parallel ghost interaction on the other side where they think you're a ghost. Yeah, that was the case.
That's what I think.
Like bleeding out, and that's a relatively scientific, at least potentially scientific hypothesis for how to explain it. A little aside, we haven't even gotten past that first bullet point, but one of my favorite folk horror things out there is on YouTube for free to watch. It's called the Stone Tapes. I believe it's a Nigel Keel thing, and it actually kind of explains ghosts in that they figure out this medium, this new awesome recording medium where they can record to stones, and then they go in and they actually determine that you can record to stones over time. So this person's place they thought was haunted, it turns out it was just the recording of an actual horrible act that occurred that time that was actually being released like by the Stones. The Stones had essentially recorded it, so it was like a cassette recording that you just happened to stumble across, but people would hear it all like constantly, and they would even like see some aspects of it, and they'd be like, "Oh, this new recording medium we just discovered," but turns out rocks and stones have been recording things for a while. It's a really cool piece of folk horror from Britain in the 70s, I believe. Very cool. Called the Stone Tape or Stone Tapes.
All right, well, let's finish the bullet points.
Yep. Start them really.
I'll start over. 55% admit to believing in ghosts or spirits. 36% reported a paranormal experience. That's 1/3 of all people polled. 61% would not buy a home if they thought it was haunted. And a home rumored to be haunted will stay on the market 133 days longer than the average home.
You know damn well, 133 days longer means that thing's going down. Like usually sellers are knocking thousands
Ghost
off.
home, $20, cool.
Yeah, I'd
buy a ghost home for more.
Yeah.
If someone was like, this house is haunted, I'd be like, cool, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I'd probably dick around with them to get the price down.
I would try to get the price down, pretend I'm really like, well, I don't know, because you know damn well everybody else is, but in my mind, I'm like, I'd fucking pay more for a haunted house.
Yeah, no, I would pay it.
To me, it's just a story. Worst case, hauntings are real, and I get to see a fucking ghost.
Yeah, and be smart about it. Set up cameras, do whatever it takes. Actually, ghost hunt.
I believe this is the 6th or 7th time I mentioned this on the podcast. When I was a kid, I always wished I would get my dick sucked by a ghost.
You watched Ghostbusters.
I watched Ghostbusters. I really wanted to get fucked by a ghost because at that point I was probably like 12 or 13.
That was PG-13 and he got blown by a ghost.
Boner all the time, and I was like, no woman's ever gonna let me have sex with her because I'm like,
PG-13 now doesn't even have a boob.
No,
not even one. They were allowed to have one set of boobs in a PG-13 movie.
Was it? Yeah.
Yep, one. Just one flash. It had to be a flash.
Like a butt, one tit, no fucks, but shits.
Yeah, one fuck, no shits.
No, I think shits, no fucks.
Oh, lots of shits, one fuck.
Yeah. I think one fuck could do it.
God, I want to have this argument going down the street where no one understands what we're saying, but we're talking about PG-13 movies. But it sounds like two autistic people who are also kind of homeless and crazy.
I think opposite sides of the street where we're talking to each other in Bluetooth devices. Like go the
one shit, two fucks. No, one fuck, two shits. No, one tit, only one tit.
No, two tits, both tits.
One tit, 3 minutes, two tits fast. Two tits fast.
Both tits, no nipples. Both tits, no nipples. One tit, one nipple. Oh,
19 murders.
No, one tit, two nipples.
19 murders.
Yeah.
One slit throat, rest bullets. Rest bullets.
Bullets, very little
quick
blood.
flash tits, one slit throat.
Definitely 19 bod.
Just going down the street flanking each other.
Fucking horror, MPAA Rain Man. Right?
That's our new content on top of our new content.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and bank that one because in case one of the other ones we don't get new content.
27% of people reported a harmless experience with a ghost or spirit, such as items being moved.
Or, like items being moved being like someone sucking my fucking dick.
That is 1 in 4 people.
Dude, and the thing is,
9% saw aggressive ghost behavior.
I did, like moving on my dick
disturbing
like a
noises, physical pain, items being thrown or broken. I've had that happen to me. I've had mirrors broken.
Come flying all over the place. And here's the thing, I didn't even care if it was a woman ghost or a man ghost. It wouldn't have mattered. If I just woken up with my dick getting sucked by a ghost, I would have been fine. I could have looked down. It could have been JFK, and I would pop it out the back of his head.
Falling off the walls. Fire alarm goes off.
Pop it out the back of his head.
Your cat's head explodes.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. As long as I'm getting my dick sucked by a ghost.
Where's it go when you're done?
Which is all over my belly.
It's like just shoots. It's like your own ectoplasm is what a ghost is made of, so they have to be physical to touch you, so that means a solid manifestation of ectoplasm.
It was like a ish, yeah.
So you'd hit that, and then it would just kind of hang there.
Yeah.
And then it would just go...
Yeah, it'd be like
just fall.
It'd be like some, like
when you freeze rain in a movie, then it suddenly is allowed to fall against a sheet.
I was thinking like oil and vinegar kind of floating kind of thing, and then, it would get suspended, sort of. You know, like a little
like
suspension.
when we were kids, and they used to sell those packets of Italian dressing in those glass jars, and you put the oil, the vinegar, and then the packet, and you shook it, and it was like, woo.
Yeah, and then you.
Remember when we were kids? We all did that. Everyone had one of those.
Exactly, the little cruet set. Yeah, exactly.
Where'd those go? I love those.
Those are actually better than most like regular.
Yeah, they had all those preservatives and shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and
they wasn't like worth the fucking sugar. Now it would come in it too, and it would fucking taste amazing.
Basically relied on you owning both oil and vinegar, which I think a lot of people don't even own nowadays.
No, nowadays it would come with it would come with all three now. It would come with a packet of oil, vinegar, and the little dust or whatever. So
no, I'm one of those rare people who buys the Costco size, like the gallon of white vinegar, the gallon of oil, the gallon of red vinegar.
I don't buy gallons of oil because I got really used to like for basic cooking stuff, but like I'll buy I always have the big jug of something on hand. But then for like the flavored stuff, if I want to put just oil on something or use oil and vinegar or something like that, I get the stuff from Alavita in Montpelier, which is an awesome place. And really, you should pay like for if you're gonna like eat olive oil like straight on something, it's worth.
Oh, you need the high end. Yeah,
it's worth spending $15 on a bottle because even a cheap bottle is going to cost you $10. You know.
No, I just cook a lot at home, and
just cooking. I just use the big one. Yeah,
is always cheaper.
Yeah, like the Bertolli or whatever it is.
A gallon of white vinegar is like $1.
Oh, the white vinegar, yeah.
A pint of white vinegar, like whatever the smaller size is. Also
$1. Yeah,
why wouldn't you just buy the super size? It'll never go bad.
That's exactly it. In worst case scenario, even if it goes bad for taste, you can use it for cleaning. Like
it just becomes a cleaning agent.
Yeah. So, all right. Oh yeah, 19% have talked with a psychic or priest about a supernatural event. That was the last one because I was getting on coming in a crew.
Yep. So some of the quotes from the company that started the first house exorcism company, and I'm just going to read a few quotes because this kind of helps encapsulate what they're going for, is we've partnered with an exorcist to offer a home exorcism service that will ensure your property is empty of any apparitions and suitable for the 61% of Americans who would rather not buy a haunted house. That is approximately 202 million people. The free service will be facilitated initially by a remote video call between the homeowner and our exorcist, who will be able to diagnose the issue, if there is one.
Can I just point out a very clear issue with their numbers here? 61% of Americans who would rather not buy a house is not 202 million people. That's 61% of all Americans.
Yes. They're assuming all Americans are looking to buy a house.
Including infants and no.
Hey, they're pumping up their numbers. This is a startup.
Of course. This was probably...
it's a startup.
It's probably in the millions of people, but certainly not hundreds of millions. Probably in the single millions of people.
Looking to buy a home.
No, I mean, that would be 61%. If you're saying... Let's say 10 million. Let's say even.
It's 61% of people who are prospective home buyers.
Yes, which is definitely not 202 million people because that's 61% of all.
It's
all
probably
people.
50,000 people, 500,000 people.
I would say it's probably over a million.
After COVID, probably 500,000 people.
Yeah, I would say because first of all,
everyone's looking for a home, but that's because they're homeless.
People generally under the federal poverty level are not.
Laughed.
I think it's funny too.
I didn't mean to laugh. That's why I pointed it out. I actually want to own it. I'm sorry.
No, there are people under the federal poverty level who aren't even looking for a house because they know they could never afford one or get a loan for one. I mean, unless they're counting like a haunted. I mean, I don't know,
if the haunted house is cheap enough.
True. Yeah,
people buy houses for under $20,000, but they're fixer-uppers.
I just have that problem when people say 61% of Americans who would rather not buy a haunted house, and then they assume every single American.
I see your number.
Yeah, because guess what? The majority of people in this country are not the people buying the houses. They're children of people and grandchildren of people that are not are capable of even thinking about buying a house. So even if you were taking 61% of every American that could potentially buy a house, being just of an age to buy a house, you're talking about maybe 50 million people.
Yep.
And that would be then probably 61% of them, which means 20
lower,
million people.
Keep going lower. Keep going lower.
So I would say in the single millions of people, this podcast just got fun. I totally tanked it. I was just like, everything was going on fine. I'm like, let me issue with. We were talking about proportions earlier, and that really got me.
We both love
it. Got me jazzed up, and I just saw these numbers. I'm like, stop that.
Here.
That's just bad journalism. I can numbers.
I can bring this back to Lost at Home.
You fucking better.
It's basically Tinder because they hook you up with an exorcist, and then you have a date to figure out if your house is actually haunted, and if it is, the exorcist comes to your house to do hands-on work.
Okay, so you're just like finding a way to let strange, let's face it, men into your house.
Yeah, I mean, you talk to them first through a video call, and then if it all works out between you and the exorcist.
Okay. So, but you're saying that you're going to trust somebody who says, "Yeah, I can get rid of demons."
Yeah, it sounds haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, our back door creaks and candlestick fell off the mantle. Yeah, it's haunted. I need to spend 3 nights there. Do you have
That's
children?
Right. I'm gonna make your back door creak.
I'm gonna touch I'm gonna touch your children. What? With holy water. What? Oh, wait, that actually sounded normal. It was less scary than what you said before. Yeah. I'm gonna put it on my dick. No, that's going weird again. That's going weird again.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck him with that candlestick.
And then he pulls off his mask Scooby-Doo style, and it's Newman. Paul Newman.
Paul Newman!
Pulls it off.
I knew it was! From beyond the grave. He's the ghost the whole time.
From his deep state pedo shop.
That's right, yeah. Which it was like, and it's one of those things. It was called Peep Date Shadow Pop.
No, just Paul Newman comes to your house and sprinkles holy water on your kids, and he keeps saying skeet when he does it. Demons be gone! Skeet.
Wait a minute.
Skeet.
Paul Newman's been dead for a long time. He's the ghost.
Do your kids normally sleep blind, tied up, and blindfolded, tied up, and gagged?
Yeah,
because for this to work, they're going to have to. Also, here's a key to the motel down the street.
That's right.
You and your husband will stay there tonight.
Yes, but your children, well, they're beyond help. They're gonna sleep BTK style upstairs.
Gotta get the demons out of them. And,
that's right. Yep. Get demons out, spray him with holy water from my dick, and I'm gonna suck Jeremiah's dick. Got a date later with childhood Jeremiah, suck his dick. You know what? I would have taken a Paul Newman dick sucking back in those days. He was alive back then, so that would have been a little weird, but...
It would have, yes.
I guess less weird than a ghost sucking my dick, though, wouldn't it be?
It would just be an old,
Paul Newman's a handsome man. Was a handsome man. He's probably a handsome ghost right now. I'm curious.
Philanthropist. You'd just be getting your dick sucked by an old philanthropist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who also runs a deep state pedo cannibal pizza shop.
I was a child. I was 12 years old when I wanted to happen.
Called, what was it again?
Puts me in better. Deep state. Just deep state pizza, I think. But maybe instead of dish, I'll have it crossed out and just says state written in.
Yeah, because you need to reference the deep dish.
Yeah, I could go deep state dish.
You can hold a deep dish pizza,
It could be deep state dish pizza. That could bring that in without I will figure that one out.
Yeah, let's workshop that out. All right, so
I'm still just thinking about getting my dick sucked by as a 12-year-old by an old Paul Newman, and honestly, it would have been...
You could have if he died before you were 12. I think he died when you were probably in your 20s.
No, I'm saying like a live one, like a live Paul Newman came to my house. My parents would have been like, "Oh my God, it's you," and they would be like, "Yeah, I am."
You talk about him like he's a squirrel, like a live Paul Newman, like a squirrel.
Yeah. Exactly.
Look at the tree, another Paul Newman.
Yeah, just rooting around for berries outside. And my dad's like, "Hey, you Paul Newman?" He's like, "Yeah, you want to come inside and fuck my son?"
Do you smell that weird smell out by the porch? Yeah, I think another Paul Newman died under there.
yeah.
He just crawled under to stay warm and hide his nuts.
Yeah, I've got to call Paul Newman Control and get him over here. PNC? Yeah, we got another one. PNC. We'll get the rake and just rake it out and be like, "Oh, you sucked my dick last night. You think it was my dick that killed him, mister?"
This one's been under here a while. The rake's just kind of pulling bits of them off.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, we'll just use that, some pulled Paul Newman.
He looks less like Paul Newman and more like Paul Newman Helper at this point.
Oh, man, Paul Newman Helper.
Could be a title of the show, by the way.
Yeah, I think so. What we got time for?
Or deep state pizza, but that actually would just sound like deep state and pizza, which is too QAnon.
I think we've got time for really two more.
We're not even done with this one.
Oh, really? Okay.
The study that they did to figure out about how haunted people think they are, ghosts.
You're going to go to the States?
I just want to real quick.
Yeah, actually, it's not because there's 10 of them here, top 10, right?
The study also found the most haunted states, according to where people report ghost sightings and hauntings. The top 10 are...
Number one, I'm actually surprised about. Number two, I'm not.
Kansas.
Yep.
Number 2, Massachusetts, I would believe, because it's an old town.
I definitely
older
thought about
the town,
that,
the more the ghosts.
Texas, I believe.
Texas, a lot of people died in Texas.
A lot of Mexican ghosts there.
A lot of Mexican ghosts.
A lot of Native American ghosts there. A lot of Native American ghosts in every one of these states.
Washington, D.C., by the way, not
that
the
is
state.
D.C.
Oh, it is.
Oh, okay, cool.
Also,
the
East
fact
Coast.
they did not put that in there also makes me really upset at this article.
Yeah, me too. Oklahoma's kind of surprising. I don't believe it. Pennsylvania makes a lot of sense. Iowa, Iowa's a piece of shit.
Well, the
Iowa.
axe, except for of course Lacey and Jason, we love you. But the axe murder house.
Yeah, we love JC. That's what I'm going to call him now. JC.
Yeah, that's right.
That's their couple name. Fuck them for living in such a haunted state full of hurricanes.
The axe murder
that
house.
wasn't even a hurricane. That was a bunch of ghosts spinning.
What are you talking about?
The hurricane, the one that destroyed their state.
The one yeah, okay.
Like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
For some reason, I just immediately went to Wizard of Oz. I'm like, no, that was state number 1. Like, that's the one with the tornado, not a hurricane.
No, the actual hurricane that destroyed.
You're talking the hurricane rate that happened recently, yeah. So, yeah, it's nice to say fuck a state that's undergoing, like, serious trauma right now. But they do have the Axe Murder House. I've actually...
Not anymore. Hurricane took it out.
Shit. Oh, man.
Axe is flying. It was an Axenado almost. Axicane?
My mom actually, this is an unsolved murder. My mom actually, like, one of her dreams is to actually go to Iowa because they do
solve an unsolved murder.
No, but they have like, you can rent the house overnight, like Airbnb style, and just stay there. Yeah, and people of course have reported a bunch of crazy stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, I mean, people fuck with you, of course.
You know, those axe murderers spent more time, chopping down those trees that flew around and nailed people's trailers and whatnot. Maybe the hurricane wouldn't have been so bad.
There's
nothing in Iowa except flat.
I think
you can't blow flat around.
I think you and I are still thinking about. I mean, granted, hurricanes certainly blow things around, but I think you and I are still definitely thinking about tornadoes.
No, it was a hurricane that hit him.
I know, but you just described a tornado. Like,
hurricanes go in circles.
I mean, hurricanes still blow things around.
Jason Northrop shared with me so many pictures of torn down trees.
Yes.
Oh, I know. Maybe they weren't ripped out of the ground. I know, but
it sounds like we're talking about them twirling around in a circle.
But that not tornado sure did a number on some trees.
NATO? Yeah.
Not NATO.
It's better than those Newman NATOs that go flying around all the time. Just fucking cum squirting out there.
Just sweeping over middle schools and fucking every kid.
and dropping the kids down broken inside. Just perfectly set them down real gentle, but like
first it hits a Good Stuff franchise and grabs their dildo section.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it hits a middle school and just hits those kids with those dildos.
Yeah, stop over at Trader Joe's and get some Newman's own ranch dressing. And they come out covered in ranch dressing, quote unquote. Yeah. Of course.
We were lucky to get lubed up by the ranch before the dildos from Good Stuff hit us.
Yeah, what a crazy...
Good Stuff might be a local chain for us.
I think it is, yeah.
Sex store.
It's a sex store. It's a fuck store. It's a fuck toy store. Oh.
They don't like you when you call it that when you walk in.
Yo, you got fuck toys?
There's the fuck store?
Yeah.
Where do I fuck?
Yeah.
Do you have a designated... Oh, you got those little markers 6 feet apart. How do you fuck 6 feet apart?
You got any Newman's Own child sex dolls?
I heard all the proceeds go to kids getting raped.
Charity. Oh, shit. It's tragic. Kentucky, Alaska, and Colorado round out the top 10.
All right. We're moving on now. All right. The U.S.
Just Newman's Own, all this horrible stuff. Newman's Own child sex doll.
All right. The USA is running low on a critical source for COVID-19 vaccines.
Yes.
And it's monkeys. We're running out of monkeys in America.
We are. Apparently rhesus monkeys
and it's actually not
be found anywhere.
Probably shouldn't laugh at the start of the story. We'll laugh when we come up with something funny to talk about.
Yes.
Because they need to test vaccines on monkeys, and currently there are none.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons...
there's very few.
There's a
they've been testing
shortage.
them on failed COVID vaccines. They probably give them super COVID.
Exactly.
Then they have
now we got a bunch of monkeys running around
in the incinerator.
Yeah, there's just a big old burn barrel of fucking monkeys around, which is a little funny. But also...
Then they find out COVID doesn't burn and can be transmitted through airborne fire pits.
Oh, yeah, so we're just spreading it.
Just literally a cloud of COVID. Yeah. Neighbor turned on his wood stove early this year. It's like 80 degrees out.
Those are COVID monkey particles.
Yeah, just COVID monkey particles.
Wear your mask, honey. But also 60% of the nearly 35,000 monkeys imported to the U.S. every year, or last year specifically, but about every year, come from China. And, of course, that transportation has been shut down due to the virus as well.
Plus, they're doing 60%. Their own vaccine testing on, well, guess it, monkeys.
So, and also, I'm just like, I mean, we're just buying monkeys from China. I understand we need them, but just where's China getting all these monkeys? I mean, there's definitely just a fucking monkey factory in China.
Definitely, there's a monkey factory,
and the only reason
that's the best sweatshop for children to work in.
Oh my god,
they just play with monkeys all day.
Raise the monkeys and they ship them out. They just pack them in a box tightly.
God, you gotta rethink when you tell your kids, "I'm gonna send you to a sweatshop if you don't eat your dinner."
Yeah,
they could get lucky. They could end up at a monkey sweatshop.
Raising rhesus monkeys.
Half the monkeys are just feeding kibble to keep them alive so they can die from a vaccine failure.
Exactly.
But the other half, they're training to replace them when they die.
That's the other thing, too. Because you know damn well the only
kids training monkeys to train monkeys.
Exactly. Because
and feed monkeys.
And really, the only monkeys that end up getting shipped over are the ones that lose their jobs because they're not very good at them, or they rebel against the government. And those are the racist monkeys we get over here, free-thinking, fucking free-wheeling monkeys, smoking their French cigarettes.
My story rebooted, so I have to reload it to get to where I left off.
I was at the 60% of nearly 35,000 monkeys in China.
I just want to get to the stockpile.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I could.
Yeah, the Atlantic is down for me. That's where we're getting this story.
Well, I mean, I think what you're getting at.
There we go.
Okay, here.
There were 3 points as to why we have a shortage and why there's a problem.
Yeah. And so anyway, the reason for shortage we already touched on was the COVID-19 testing. The second was the thing from China. The third was the pandemic related events are exacerbating pre-existing monkey shortfalls. And a 2018 National Institutes of Health report found that NIH-funded national primate centers would be unable to meet future demand, and specifically discussed a quote-unquote strategic monkey reserve to provide quote-unquote surge capability for unpredictable disease outbreaks.
Yeah, we needed a monkey stockpile.
We did. A national monkey stockpile, which is so funny, so cute.
It really is. Just silos filled with monkeys, packed in like hard. Like
weren't rhesus monkeys the one we found that were spreading like herpes and stuff like that? Right? Mm-hmm. Those are the ones gonorrhea, herpes.
And
right?
We were trying to protect those monkeys who were put into forced labor picking coconuts. What are they? They're jobless now.
Yeah.
All the time they ask college students to do medical tests.
Yeah, and that's and now we're like that's the only job these monkeys are going to be able to get.
No, because strategic monkey stockpile.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a strategic monkey reserve. Yeah.
Reserve. It's still it's still a stockpile.
I like the sound of a stockpile, a monkey stockpile.
It's like oil. We have oil reserves,
and
but it's a stockpile.
I just picture like them getting like doled out in shovels, like somebody just taking like a big old monkey shovel and just scooping a bunch out. Be like, how many need 2 bushel? And they just fucking a couple bushels of fucking monkeys. You know, a baker's dozen, a monkey's dozen is 14.
All right, we have one last story. This is kind of a quick one. It's an announcement about an upcoming film, and Jerry, you and I are huge horror fans.
We are
huge horror fans.
Shout out to the channel Alter on YouTube. I've been trying to make it through. They have 260 plus short horror films. I've started watching them shortly after they launched in 2018, I believe. And I fell off not watching them for a while, and I have about 180 left to go. I'm going to try to finish all 180 shorts in the month of September. It's about an hour and a half a day. I need to watch the shorts. Anyway, yes, horror movies are great.
So, we have a Karen-focused crime thriller in development, and this is going to star Taryn Manning from Orange is the New Black. Now, reports are saying that she is going to be the lead star in a new crime thriller, which they're edging towards horror, where Cook Daniels is writing and directing, and the film is expected to touch on the trending topic from the past few months that centers around racist entitled white women in the South, and kind of everywhere, who terrorize, or in this particular case, a racist entitled white woman in the South who terrorizes her new African-American neighbors. She's the neighbor from hell. Her name will be Karen White, and she looks to oust the black family from her neighborhood by any means necessary. This is timely as fuck, and I don't care how they have to rush it. Rush this film out, as certain states are actually making it a federal crime now to call 911 on someone for being black in a white area.
Okay.
They are several states that made it a federal crime now to literally call 911 because someone's being black
and
white.
And it was
like
one of the
New York City guy, though, the guy bird watching in Central Park.
And he was
being black in the white zone, according to her.
And she literally was saying, like, she tried
strangling her dog to save her life.
I'm going to call the police right now. I'm going to tell them I'm threatened by an African American man is threatening me. And he's like, you please go right ahead, ma'am. Like, he's being really polite and filming her. She's like, please put the camera down. I was like, of course, put the camera down. Of course, they always like, that doesn't represent me. I'm like, no, of course not, because you're used to being able to put on a fucking facade, and the second you're called out for who you really are and get fucking caught on camera, guess what? That sucks. How about this? How about just be a better person instead of being like, no, you didn't catch me on my good day of what? Pretending you're not a fucking racist? Like, no, we caught you. Now, can people change? Yeah, of course. And maybe, hopefully, some of this stuff will help some of that. And we've mentioned before, I do feel bad for real Karens in real life. I don't know very many of them. But at the same time, you know what? It's a fitting term, and it means something now. And being a Karen, if your name's Karen, I don't think anybody's necessarily going to think anything of it nowadays because
it might just be annoying that you have to deal with someone going, "Oh, your name's Karen."
Exactly it. I don't think people are going to immediately assume that you are a Karen for being a Karen. Men can be Karens. Male Karen. Although they're trying to come up with a term for that now.
I don't like it. I just say Karen's universal.
I think so too.
It's not even a gendered word anymore.
No, because they tried to create other ones like Kevin's and
Kyle's was being floated around for a little
honestly,
bit.
But you do that, and it's like no, why? Like, don't. A Karen just means a certain type of behavior, and of course, it definitely was created based on these hysterical white women threatening to call the cops on black men for the most part, or getting really upset about what the black people having a charcoal grill in a park. Of course, they called the cops on them and didn't really mention why they were calling the cops. They just felt they said they felt threatened in a fucking park. Didn't say that like it's because they had a charcoal grill. And then a white person showed up and got them on camera. And suddenly her whole demeanor calmed down. It's like, oh, the woman's like, you're giving me the white treatment. Okay, I get it. Like suddenly you're I just saw you behave this certain way toward this entire group of people. Like you fucking own them and you have this right to behave this way around them. And the second this white woman walks up and starts talking to you and pointing out that you're a fucking hypocrite, you behave a certain way and you say, well, it's just because they're not supposed to have a charcoal grill in the park. You never said that. You fucking
Karen
never said
literally
that.
Is either a racist or just someone who feels entitled, or both.
It's entitled because it's not even racism.
It's racism when they call being black and white.
That is a racist. That is a racist Karen. But other Karens are people tipping shit over for the mask people. Yeah, those people are probably they're not necessarily racist. They just don't believe in the thing, and they're just throwing tantrums. A lot of it is tantrum based. It's very tantrum based, but it also is feeling entitled and then
I always get
throwing
my
a tantrum.
way.
Yeah, and I hate to say it. It's probably pretty white specific. I'm not saying there aren't black Karens.
No. It's
definitely
pretty white specific, and I bet you most of the Karens are, at least on the women's side,
because
people
who
have husbands who take care of them, like have maybe a good construction job where they actually have a really nice house. Yeah. Like, I mean, he's the guy who owns the company. Yeah. So they have a nice house, they have 2 cars, everything's paid for, everything's bought for them, and the woman basically just hangs out. Yep. And then when she goes out in public, she doesn't understand why everyone won't give her everything she wants.
And then on the other side of that,
home, she always is given everything she wants.
And then on the male side of that, the male side is just general male privilege of just being like, wait a minute, I'm a white male.
Let me do what I want.
Why can't I come in here without a mask?
And there's a hint to that with the women too, but I feel like there's also that level of like, because a lot of them look like someone who sits at home, sits by the pool, doesn't lift a finger, has a maid,
Yeah.
And then when they go out in public, they're like, I can't believe I have to do what you're telling me. You're a
peasant.
Basically, you're a part-time worker. You're minimum wage.
Or literally like one of the first original Karens we're talking about in the park of threatening to call the police on a guy for being black and bird watching when she was the one breaking the fucking rules with a dog running around like the park.
Yeah, all he did, he was bird watching and goes, "Hey, ma'am, you should put a leash on your dog."
Yeah, which is actually the rule of the park.
And I heard it.
Not against the law, but it's
that's
the rule
all
of the park.
Said.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's like she didn't like being told what, and she was like, "Oh, that's right, I can use my." And this is actually there's a lot of content out there to read right now, especially about this the history of the hysterical, and this isn't like necessarily. I don't want this to come across sounding misogynistic because it's more of a race-based thing. But there's this history of these scared white woman using her whiteness against her white womanhood against black people in history. In other words, because black people are rapists.
Scream one word around someone of another color, and you win the fight.
So there's this huge historical precedent set for that's so negative. And granted, a lot of that had to do also with the fact that we lived in such a patriarchal society that the only way a lot of women could, they were able to get a certain type of attention and actually be listened to. If a white man raped a white woman back then, they'd scream rape and the woman would go to jail or fucking get to be told to shut up. Suddenly a woman could actually fucking be heard. So there's a lot that still comes down to the fucking patriarchal male-centered aspect of that. So I don't want to just be like, yo, women be bitches, but like,
no, it's also those Karens specifically looking to get a white knight to come save them.
Yeah.
And that's usually going to result in a cop killing a black guy.
Yeah. Just for you trying to just pretty much accelerate a fucking otherwise could have been a peaceful issue because you feel entitled to do so. And you also are aware you can do that. You're aware you can say African-American threatened woman in park and the cops will be there immediately. And it's something that not everybody has the luxury of having. Like, a lot of people can't call the cops up and be like, I'm this person, I feel threatened by this person, and just have the cops immediately show up. But there's still that old time thing of like, they're going to rape our white women. Like, they're going to have mixed race babies. What next? Equality? Like, yeah, big surprise. And I just want to.
That was a good Newman impression, by the way, right there.
That was a great Paul Newman impression. that was a great Newman from Seinfeld impression that I just did. Actually, did you know that Seinfeld actually wrote Newman into the show as such a despicable character because he was fully aware, and Seinfeld was actually Paul Newman was extremely anti-Semitic, and Jerry Seinfeld is Jewish, and Paul Newman had tried on multiple occasions to get Jerry Seinfeld assassinated for being Jewish, and so he wrote Paul Newman into that show.
Is this part of our new? Is this part of our new Newman?
So what? Yeah. So really, Seinfeld was actually awoke to the point where he put Newman in as a character as that despicable fat piece of shit, and always going Newman, because in his head, every time he said that, he was actually pointing out, Paul Newman tried to kill me because I'm Jewish. This is all made up. This is part of my conspiracy theory.
I was like, I'm believing it. See?
Isn't it crazy?
Q and Newman. Q and Newman works.
Q and Newman.
No, you just told me that. And I was like, no way. No way. You went a little far saying you tried to get him killed. If you just
I was trying to make it unbelievable because I didn't want anybody.
That was the only part of it where I was like, I'm going to fact check that.
Okay, no, I want that
killed and you just brought it to, say, a
like
level
maybe
of
blacklisted or something.
Yeah, that would have been 100% believable.
Or Jew listed or whatever they try to get those people in, like whatever Paul Newman was doing back in those days. That piece of shit. And yeah, but
he was trying to Yamakaze him.
Oh my god, that's good. I actually intended to try to make like a little bit ridiculous because I was hoping it wouldn't come across. I was like, oh shit, this is actually sounding a little bit legit.
It really did until you said killed.
I had to try to make something. I was gonna
blacklist, and I would have you could have ended the show right now and let me walk home, and I'd be like, Kelly, did you know?
And then I wake up in the morning and it's just like Paul Newman,
Q Newman,
Seinfeld on the front lines against Q and Newman. Yeah, I should like to say, because we bringing up the name Karen a lot. I absolutely used to adore. I mean, she died shortly after I was born. Karen Carpenter was a great musician, she was about as non-Karen as you can get. Yep. And going back to the people, like, just because your name is Karen doesn't mean you're a Karen. Don't worry about that. I understand.
R.I.P. Karen Gilliam.
Yep, and there's plenty of people.
Oh, this is going to drop next week. I'm hedging my bet she's going to be dead in 4 days.
Well, all right.
If she dies,
are you Q?
Yes.
Newman
took her out.
Yeah, man, damn well Paul Newman is cute.
The only thing he hates more than he loves boys' buttholes is gingers.
I hope his name is Paul Newman. We've been saying it the whole time. It sounds right.
Paul Newman?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I have his salad dressing in my fridge. He makes the best salad dressing.
Yeah, but it just says Newman's Own sex dolls. It is Paul Newman. Okay, I just want to make sure he's the actor. He's a very handsome man. By the way,
as far as salad dressings go, you can make the best. You can buy small brand distributors, which make really interesting, good flavors, like local salad dressings. Or if you're going global, it's got to be Newman's. You can't buy Kraft, can't buy any of those other brands.
Well, if you're going with like a major brand, because Newman's is the major brand,
it's one national brand
versus Ken's or something like that.
It's better than all national brands in my head.
I'm obviously buying like really like small micro brands, but like Newman's is actually decent. Like, and also it's not that expensive. Like you can buy some like good, and they have like the three cheese Italian and stuff like that.
$3. I mean, it's still cheaper to make your own. Like I said.
Oh yeah,
oil, gallon of oil for $3, a gallon of vinegar for $1.
Yeah, and then adrenochrome.
You just paid for the entire bulk of that dressing with $3, and you can make 100 of those bottles at home.
I am going to fake make. You know that, and this probably wouldn't work, but I think I follow them on Instagram called Obvious Plant. They're the people who like take somebody who like fakes mocks up a like fake toy or something with a ridiculous and they actually leave them in real stores and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually want to make an Obvious Plant of Newman's Own salad dressing. Take a real bottle, just attach a new label, and have one ingredient called, it just says adrenochrome on the back, and then put it on a fucking shelf and see if anybody notices.
They wouldn't. They would. You'd have to put it in big letters, like now with more adrenochrome.
Maybe on the front, yeah. That was more adrenochrome.
That would be easier. Just have a bunch of stickers made like that, like a sheet, and go bap on a bunch of bottles.
Actually, that would actually be better. And then also just plant one deep state dish pizza in there. I don't think we could do that without technically breaking laws if you put a real pizza in there, because we'd have to open it, put a pizza in,
and they don't sell deep dish frozen pizza.
The only way you could do it is putting the box inside of the box, so you never open the original box. Because if you open the original box and then put a pizza in, then you're probably breaking some laws.
Yeah, I was gonna say they just don't sell deep state frozen pizza, because that would be like 3 hours at $200.
That's true. Yeah. Deep dish is not a frozen pizza.
You would never cook that to the core frozen.
which makes it even funnier to even create like
crispy on the outside and frozen on the center.
Yeah, just like I would like my babies. It doesn't make sense.
Not the way I freeze them.
Yeah, I like cooking them from frozen, like a little tiny hamburger.
Frostbite technically cooks the meat. All right, I think we
went over, and we still had a few things that we didn't get to. We can talk about the Satanic Church next time, or just leave you all to look up the Satanic Church and how they're going to help secure abortion rights, and how Kanye hates the sage grouse. I feel like at the end maybe we should at least give a little idea of the story.
Yeah, sure. Kanye wants to kill birds by building a underground garage and a mansion the size of the White House on his property.
If you're curious about
the mansion he wants to buy has the same dimensions as the White House. It's like, if I can't be president, I'm going to be president of my farm.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna buy a replica of the White House.
Wait, isn't he just making a plantation at this point?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, get lost.
All right. Get lost.